thing about only do what you enjoy and your passion, I think it's bollocks.
Yeah, but why does that matter, right? As long as they're talented, that's what matters, right?
So would you want your missus to be massive by a big, good-looking guy?
Why does that matter? It depends on the talent. I genuinely believe sales is everything. If you don't know sales, like, you've got a big ladder to climb. What are certain key basic points that they should know about? Welcome back to my channel where we discuss personal development, business and everything else that's connected. If this is the first time you are visiting my channel, then please hit the like and subscribe button. Just to let you know, we are now releasing videos every Wednesday 11 AM and every Sunday 3 PM. Make sure to tune in as you don't want to miss them. I don't know if you some biscuits there.
No, I'm doing Andrew Tate stuff. I'm doing 1 meal a day. Mate, I've been doing that for apart from my holiday, I've been doing it for about 3 weeks, mate. I swear, fucking dropped. I'm sure my abs popped out, mate.
Andrew Tate's one meal a day?
Yeah, he does 1 meal a day.
Yeah,
loads of coffee and cigars. I'm not doing the cigars.
Yeah. Do you know Andrew Tate? Or just
wait, no.
All right, okay.
I'm one of them. I must admit, I don't care what people think. I fucking love him, mate. I think he's bang on. Like, obviously, there's the odd. I don't believe in having multiple wives and all that.
Okay.
But majority of what he says, I think he's bang on. About a man being a man, mate, I don't know what you think about him.
No, I agree. Yeah. I mean, especially what happened with him in prison, all that stuff is just wrong, isn't it?
But that tells me what he's saying is true, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you can understand because at the start when he started off, it was all for attention. So he had to say what he had to say.
Yeah, exactly.
But even now he admits it. He says, look, I've got more responsibility. I've got more people that follow me, that listen to me. So now I wouldn't say certain things. I'd say it in a different way.
Yeah.
I still believe what I believe, but I'll just say it different. That's all it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Because obviously he's reached that stage now. But at the start, everyone wants attention.
Yeah.
It's understandable what he was doing.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah.
But no, I think he's a genius, mate. What he's done, like how he went that big, that quick is just crazy, man.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Love it.
Terry, bro, thank you for coming on.
No problems.
I appreciate it, but I checked out your stuff.
Yeah.
You know what? I resonate with a lot of stuff that you put out on social media. And I think that's one of the reasons I reached out to you as well. I thought, you know what? He's a real one. Let's get him on.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
We'll get right into it.
Yeah,
that's
man.
how we just roll. So,
is it this one I'm looking at? Or do
that's
you
your camera.
What do you want us to do?
No, you look at me.
Anyway,
we just have a conversation. Yeah.
So we're not looking at the cameras, no?
No.
Sweet.
And if you want to say anything to the people, because obviously they'll be watching, then you can always
that one. Yeah.
That one. Say
Very
something
sweet.
like that.
Andrew Tate, no.
Okay, so you brought Andrew Tate up anyway. So what is it? What is it that inspires you about him?
I just think his message is a bit misunderstood.
Yeah.
I agree with 90% of the stuff that he says, but I do believe, in hard work, discipline.
Definitely.
One of the best things he's ever said, I believe, that resonated with me was, regardless of how you feel, whether you feel upset, sad, happy, regardless how you feel, every single day you've got a job to do and you've got things to do that you must do. And some people won't go to the gym if they're feeling down. They won't go to the gym if they're sad or they haven't got the energy.
Yeah.
You need motivation. Whereas he says, just do it. Do what you need to do regardless how you feel.
Yeah.
I just love that.
What do you not agree with him about?
I don't agree with having multiple wives. I think that's
Why?
a bit out there.
Have you got missus?
Yeah, I've got my missus. Yeah.
Is that why you're saying that?
That's not why I'm saying that. I would have said that prior.
Yeah,
but in this day and age, I think it's a bit controversial. I know certain cultures that still happens. Just for me personally, that's not something I would do because I'm.
One's enough for you, right?
Yeah. She's enough, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
Good. Okay, so look, bro, you're an author of 2 books. Am I right?
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
You have a podcast called Rags to Riches. You have a 10 million plus property portfolio. You have online courses, and in your words, you say backed by personal guarantee. You had or have the largest insurance company in the UK. Had. You have restaurants, cafes, and I'm sure I've missed a few things out.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start with you. I really don't. Like, it's impressive. Like,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
you look really young. How old are you?
34.
Okay. So, I don't know. Let's dive right into this. So, what is it that you don't do out of what I've said?
Everything that you said there. I sold the, I've signed a non-disclosure. So I exited the insurance brokers last year.
Okay.
Done really well, but that was the largest life insurance brokerage in the UK.
Yeah.
So I had 120-ish sellers across the country, all self-employed, turnover a good few million. It was a really good business.
Yeah.
That was my passion from age 19. I was a builder 16 to 19.
Was you?
Hated it. I can't hang pictures, never mind doors. So I'm useless at being a builder.
Okay.
Useless. Hated it, and then I got made redundant at 19, and I went into self-employed life insurance
Blimey,
sales.
you started early then, right?
Yeah, before it was cool to be an entrepreneur and social media was big and all of that. It seems to be everyone's up to that now. But I got into self-employed sales, didn't sell anything, didn't get paid. Really tough selling life insurance, which I think is one of the toughest sales jobs out there, because you're not selling something. It's not tangible. Look, it's life insurance. It's only useful if you die. Nobody wants to talk about dying. It's a pretty hard sell. We were knocking on doors, walking into shops, selling.
Is that how you were selling it back then?
Back then, and I didn't know any different. I was just told, right, Terry, you're in this street today. You're in this area. Go knock on some doors and say this. But I was young and naive. I just said it. People telling us to F off, piss. Can I swear on this podcast?
You can, bro. It's uncensored. You can do
Tell
what
us
you
to
want.
fuck off, piss off, and all of that.
Yeah.
I got loads of abuse, and then I just took to it. I made more in a week selling life insurance when I was 19 than I did in a month as a joiner.
Right.
So after a couple of weeks, sold the tools. But yeah, I was young, and I just took to it dead quick. I loved it, and I knew at that point that was what I wanted to do, and I thought I'd do that forever. But as you grow and evolve, and I started to buy property and do all these other businesses and different things,
Yeah.
you do change, and you grow as a person, as a man, and as a business owner. You change what you think, what you believe, and I thought the time was right to sell it off last year. So that's what I
Okay.
did.
So you've basically had that company for what, like over 10 years or something?
So I worked for two companies when I was 19 to 21. I worked for an American company.
Yeah.
21 to 24, I worked for a different American company, one of the biggest insurers in the world, MetLife.
Still from UK though, right?
Yeah. So the MetLife was the second. So it was Combined Insurance Company of America, 19 to 21.
Yeah.
They got shut down. I then went to MetLife Europe, which are huge in America. It was the European division though. Worked for them until age 24. Then I set Bespoke Financial up, which was my own company, age 24, and exited that at 33.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah.
So how many, you said you had like over 100 self-employed staff. So what did you use, like have offices somewhere? Were you working from office or was everyone working from home, or how was it?
So COVID made us all work from home.
Okay.
But prior to that, it was pretty much all in person or over the phone. Majority, we've got a Newcastle office, a Teesside office, Halifax, Hull, and we had St Helens, which we changed. But from COVID, to give you an idea, we doubled in size in 2020. So when everyone was losing their jobs and people were worried about everything, they were also worried about the health.
That would
so
have been
life insurance was great. So we literally doubled turnover, doubled staff count, doubled in size in 2020. So we were one of the businesses that didn't stop working.
I can imagine.
I worked more when it was lockdown, 7 days, when everyone else was in their back garden, sunbathing like that, chilling. I was on the phone closing deals.
Wow.
So yeah, we doubled in size, but all self-employed. Majority of the staff have never even done sales before, never mind life insurance sales before, and I taught them my methods on how to get referrals, how to close, how to build rapport, and all of that comes with it, all from fresh. Yeah, so.
Okay, so you know what it is? I've started now treating this podcast almost like a masterclass, because I feel like if guests like you come on who have so much value to give it out, right? So when you say that you was teaching people sales even though they had zero experience, and I genuinely believe sales is everything. Like
100%.
if you don't know sales,
100%.
You've got a big ladder to climb. What would you say? Like what are certain key basic points that they should know about? I'll just let you.
Okay, yeah. So I love the topic of sales, by the way. I completely agree. You completely bang on. It is everything. It should be taught at schools. We are all selling. Either you're selling yourself, you're selling a product, a service, all the time, and people just don't realise it because double glazing salesman, car salesman. Sorry if anyone's listening and you fall into that category, but they've give sales a bad name because the pushy salespeople that everyone's heard of or experienced, they kind of paint all salespeople with that brush. I think that's a bit wrong. But sales is great. Love sales. So tips on sales. If it's in person,
Yeah.
it's different over the phone, obviously. So in person, it's eye contact, smiling, body language. 80% of the way you look is your clothes. So don't be going dressed as a scruff or, you know, looking scruffy when you're in a sales environment. I don't think that's right. Your tone of voice, your tonality. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. People buy off people that they like, and people buy off people who are the same as them as well. So imagine if someone knocked on your door tonight when you got in, knocked on your door, they look completely different to you. There maybe he's a goth, black hair, black nail varnish, earrings and all that. Instantly, even if they're the best salesperson in the world and they're selling the best product in the world, you go, oh, don't you? Subconsciously you go, oh, because they're different to you.
Yeah, yeah.
So on the reverse of that, if someone knocked on your door exactly the same as you, same background, same whatever,
Yeah.
you warm to them before they've even said a word.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
people buy off people who are the same as them, and people buy off people who they like. So being likable is a skill. It can be learned. Some people have just got it. Some people have got, when you meet them, it's like personality in it.
Yeah, yeah.
You meet them like that. And if they like you first, they'll start to listen to you. And if they listen to you, they'll start to trust you if you say the right thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if they trust you, they'll buy.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like,
yeah,
listen, trust, buy is,
I like that.
is what I teach. And it's bang on.
And I think that's great as well, the way you put that, by people do naturally just move towards people that kind of are from a similar look-alike type thing, right?
100%.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
do. Unfortunately, you're judged on the way you look a lot of the time. You just are.
Yeah,
That's probably never going to change.
yeah, yeah. You're absolutely right. What about on the phones?
So on the phones, so well, you would have experienced this. Everyone has, right? So you've been rang by somebody.
Yeah.
Normally someone like Sky or BT, someone like that, and they're terrible on the phone. Have you experienced this?
Yeah.
And blokes being blokes, sometimes it's a female, and you think, oh, I bet she's fit. Right? in what you're basing that on, you are solely basing that on their tone of voice, right? Aren't you?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Think about someone who's rang you. You've never seen them, you can't see them, but you think you know what they look like. You paint a pic. So if they're speaking like this, and you instantly think grumpy. Maybe he's old. Maybe he hates the job, miserable. You don't want to deal with that person, but you're painting a picture in your mind of what they look like, just based on tone of voice. So I used to teach all the guys, because we were selling from 2020, majority of it was over the phone, is your tone of voice needs to be on point. Standing up as well when you're making a call. Have you ever rang your friend and you're like, are you in bed? Are you hungover? And you're basing that on tone of voice, aren't you?
Yeah.
You can tell when someone's lying down or sitting up.
Absolutely.
So every time you make a sales call, you should be standing up and pacing up and down, because you think quicker on your feet. That phrase, think quicker on your feet, is right.
Yep.
So your tone of voice is everything. Enthusiasm, energy injected down the phone. And if you do that, people are going to... I personally don't want to have a chat with someone who's miserable or grumpy or speaks like that and monotone.
Yeah.
You want to speak to someone who's got energy. You're more inclined to listen. The first 6 seconds buy the next 6 minutes. So if you don't inject personality, enthusiasm with a good tone of voice in the first 6 seconds, you've
lost them.
It's hard, yeah. It's hard.
I think they're great tips, by the way. Honestly,
I appreciate that.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what? People will take something from that, because sales is important, isn't it?
100%. It's more important than everybody thinks. Everybody seems to be focused on the product, but I relate it to my journey. So, Combined Insurance Company of America,
Yeah.
I can say it now because they don't exist, but their product was terrible. I didn't know any different because it was the first sales role I was in, right? But their product was terrible. We still sold loads of it. And then I went to a better company that had a better product. We still sold loads. So that tells you in itself that they weren't necessarily buying the product that much. They were buying the people. And people buy off people. They really do. And it's not that much about the product. It's obviously good to have if you've got a good product and you're a good salesperson, you're laughing.
Yeah.
But being a salesman or woman or person is where it's at. It's such an important skill.
Yeah. Why do you think it's got a bad name then? Why do you think it's like a little bit, people like, oh, no sales?
I think it's down to pushy salespeople, and everybody at some point has experienced the person who knocks on your door, who's pushy. Car salespeople. Sorry about any car salespeople listening.
We're killing people off here, right?
Sorry, but there is obviously good car salespeople out there as well. But my experience in Mercedes, I remember it specifically. That's why I didn't buy a Merc. I bought an Audi instead, because I went in gym clothes after the gym, and the guy basically overlooked us. He basically didn't even acknowledge us because I was in gym clothes. The next day, I finished work in a suit and went in, and the same guy didn't recognise. He was all over us like a rash. And I had a chat with him, and he wasn't really finding out what I wanted in the car. He was just telling us about this because he thought I had money because I was in a suit.
Yeah.
So I've experienced that, and I bet you people can relate to that.
Yeah.
It might be a different product. It might be cold calling, PPI. Remember that when everyone used to get the phone calls? So like, it's just got a bad name because of that. But these cameras, this TV, everything that you're wearing, I'm wearing, has been sold to us, or we've looked at it and bought it. So it's been sold in some way.
Yeah.
By the way it looks on a model or someone on socials, or because of the spec on a camera that you've watched a video on YouTube and a review, it's been sold to you at some point.
Definitely.
times.
Alex Hamoudi is the best, right? When he comes on, he goes, I'm not here to sell you anything, right?
But he sells books and
good.
yeah. He's a G, by the way. He's a G, isn't he?
He's a great guy.
That book was unreal. Love that.
He's good. Okay, so what online courses do you have? Like what? Tell me.
So 2 that are coming out. So one's going to be August, one's going to be September.
All right, so by the time this podcast comes out, they will be out.
All right, great.
So we'll have them all in the link below.
Right, amazing. So the reason I got into education was I was asked for property mentorship and coaching for probably 2 years before I did it.
Yeah.
I've coached my sales staff for years on business and how to sell and how to be personable and all of that.
Yeah.
And I got asked enough, and it was one of them like, okay, right, I'll do it. And I must admit, the one-to-one coaching I didn't really like.
Okay.
At the start, I was a little bit, and they were like, what's a mortgage? What's a buy-to-let? And I was a bit like, come on, I can't be bothered with this. It's not worth the money. But then I started to actually really enjoy it. I started developing, help people and see them getting results. So then I thought, how can I leverage this and do it on scale?
Yeah.
There's only so many one-to-ones you can have in a day
Definitely.
and a week. So I thought pre-recorded courses, huge value. To be honest, Alex Hormozy, reading that book, a lot of them are designed around what he says, huge value.
Yep.
And all of the hints that he gives in that offers book is unreal.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a sales course.
Okay.
So how to negotiate, persuade, and sell to people, whether that's selling yourself, selling a product, selling whatever.
Yeah.
That's going to be one. And I did like a mastermind on how to raise angel finance. So we're going to do that as a pre-recorded course as well, because I was inundated with messages when I launched that.
So is that your business one, or is that just part of the same one?
Yeah, so I probably will. I'm conscious of doing too many different things. I could do a course on business. I could do a course on...
You could do a course on everything
loads
you do,
of different
right?
things, but I want to focus on what's the highest value to people and impacts them the most. So how to raise money in property.
Everyone wants to know that.
Everyone's money runs out.
Yeah.
At some point, regardless how much you've got. So how to raise money, which I've done in volume, a few £1 million over the past couple of years, into JVs and on a fixed rate of return. How to do that in volume, using social media and networking in person. And sales is huge value. So if they can make an extra sale a day or an extra sale a week, depending on what they're selling, of course, that's huge value, and that can have huge impact. And that's the 2 courses that I'm going to do initially.
So you're going to do about how to raise finance and how to sell in property, right?
Not selling property, so just selling in general. So how to negotiate everything from a product or service that you pay for monthly.
Got it.
To a one-off cost that you're buying for a bar or restaurant, or negotiating a property deal.
Got it.
So negotiation in general, how to persuade people to do something in general. So again, that could be property, business, sales, whatever, and wrapped up with sales in general. And we'll have specific ones about business, specific ones about property, modules within that course.
Yeah.
So that's going to launch September, which I'm excited about.
Nice. So it's not specifically about deal sourcing or specifically about Airbnb. It's just basically the skills that you need to do them things.
Absolutely. Because it does, there are specific skills about Airbnb, for example, or how to negotiate below market value properties. There's also specifics about how to sell life insurance. But there's a lot of common things that apply to any sales. Some of the stuff we've just talked about, body language, smile, tone of voice, all of that. So it's the generic stuff, but with also things that apply to business and property.
And I don't think anyone's doing that, are they?
The closest I can find is Grant Cardone, who's big American, and it's very different over there. Like, America is very different. Property's different, mortgages are different, how things are purchased are different. bit more enthusiastic than us in the UK, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it is a different market, but I can't really find a top-notch, high-value,
think anyone
high-quality
is.
sales trainer.
No.
And that's what I'm gonna
And it's
promote.
nice because you're bringing your sales background into it, all the experience that you've got, and just packing it into. You've probably spotted a gap in the market, right?
Yeah, definitely. And selling businesses as well. That's something that a lot more people are starting to talk about now. But I've sold 2 companies, built them both from scratch. I've got a huge investment into one of them. So
Yeah.
again, that's selling. I've rose money myself, and I've obviously trained salespeople, sold thousands and thousands of products over the years. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay, so tell me about these restaurants and cafes that you have. Pay attention. I've got some exciting news for you guys. I've launched a 7-day total free audio course for you guys, which is going to help you improve and elevate your mindset, and it's also going to help you in your business. All you have to do is go and sign up every single day, day 1 to day 7. You will receive a free 2-minute audio from me in my own words, in my voice, and what that will do is help you in your business and your mindset. Make sure you go and sign up and let me know how you find it.
So there's one restaurant, one cafe, just to point that
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Okay. Where is it?
So there's a glamping site that we built in Bishop Auckland, which is in the northeast.
Yeah, I know that
So
area.
we bought a cafe, which was already operational. So we bought the business and the cafe, the building and the land around it. So it's got 2 acres around it, and we built some glamping pods on the land. Already had planning permission, so we built these high-end glamping pods. Kitchens, bathrooms, living rooms, bedrooms, and really, really nice, these glamping pods.
Yeah.
With the cafe, and then bought quite a large hotel, 17 bedrooms, bought that last year. That's got a bar and restaurant in, and a games room, a little coffee area, like a snug area, 2 houses on the land, and some land. So that's called the Ancient Unicorn. So that's 450 years old. Charles Dickens wrote a book there. It's a really interesting project. Love it. So that's where I've been today. So,
okay.
So yeah, that's the 2. So those are completely new to me, by the way. Cafes, glamping, a big hotel and bars and restaurants, completely new. First time I've done them.
Really?
Done them all at the same time, and had a baby at the same time.
Wow.
And moved house at the same time. So it's been an interesting 12 months. But
have the restaurant and cafe started, or they're not?
Yeah. So the cafe at the glamping site was already operational when we bought it.
Right.
18 employed staff, already trading really, really well. Does well. It's only going to do better because of the location, and now we've got pods around it, so the guests will generally eat there on an evening. And the hotel had a restaurant in it when I but the guy who I bought it off was running it. Yeah. So I bought that in July last year, 2022. Yeah. And reopened the bar and restaurant in January 23.
Got it.
Because we had to refurb the whole place. It was a
wreck.
Yeah. But that's hospitality is a hard game. Honestly.
Tell me about it.
I don't know if you're involved.
I've got experience in that.
Yeah. Honestly, it is I mean, staff's always the hardest part about any business.
Yeah.
But staff in hospitality specifically, very challenging. Nothing against chefs at all, but chefs have been hard work, front of house. It's a hard gig, and that is a hard for the guys working in the restaurant.
Yeah.
It's hard. They're on the feet all day, and when they get swamped, when it's at capacity, it's full on. And you walk in the kitchen, because sometimes, like, I was washing dishes last night because I'm a team player. So
was you?
I was, I swear to God.
I wouldn't do that though.
I walked in, and yes, I'm not saying like, does anyone want us to wash the dishes? But they were swamped.
I understand.
There was a mad rush, and I went into the kitchen just to get a coffee actually, and it was swamped, and I felt the atmosphere.
And you thought, I need to help them.
Yeah, and they were just all, and I went, right, I'll wash the dishes.
Yeah. And you know what? That's good because you're kind of putting in their mind, even though I'm the boss, I'm doing the most basic stuff here. So you better get your ass engaged.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
And actually, it does good for morale, yeah. And I'm not doing it for that reason, but because I'm a young guy, sometimes when I come into these businesses, like the cafe was another example, 18 staff who worked together for probably 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
All generally older than me. I come in and think, who's this young guy with money, and what's he going to do? Is he going to, knock us down? Sack us, shut the place down, change everything. So you've got to kind of win them over slowly. You don't make loads of changes initially. You've got to gradually work your way in and do what's right for the business and for them, but in turn, what's right for you.
Yeah.
So last night I was washing the dishes, which I don't enjoy at all.
Yeah.
Just rinsing them and then putting them in the dishwasher. I wasn't full on scrubbing.
Yeah.
But I've done that, and I could see them looking, and they know that I'm a team player, and they know that I'm I'm not some corporate guy. I am who I am, and I'll dig in if I need to, and I'll help if I need to.
Yeah.
And I've got the interest in the business at heart, because I have.
Have you got managers there and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah. So we've got manager, supervisor, front of house, various bar and restaurant staff, and a chef.
Yeah.
So
So do you find that business a little challenging, right?
the most challenging I've ever been involved in.
I had to come out of it. Yeah, I had to come out of it.
It's hard, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Very hard. But I would never buy a bar or restaurant or cafe by itself, just in its own right. Never.
Yeah, yeah,
Based on this experience. I don't know if I would have prior. What appealed to us about the hotel was it's a big hotel, it's an amazing hotel. Every room's different.
Yeah, yeah.
450 years old. It's the only place in the country called the Ancient Unicorn. So there was loads of other factors, which was the reason I bought the place.
Interesting. What sort of food do you serve up there?
So it's general pub food. So you've got your Sunday lunches, you've got your burgers,
Okay.
pies, fish and chips, all that type of stuff.
So what are you finding with the margins with the food at the moment? Is it good or is it?
I didn't know what it used to be like, but I'm told it's obviously a lot worse than it used to be.
Yeah.
Because everything costs more, doesn't it? Literally
Yeah.
everything. Staff want paid more, for one. Gas, electric, power is all more. So
Yeah,
your margins are getting squeezed there. Then the general ingredient costs, I don't know what it used to be like. I took over this business in 2022, so it was...
Yeah, yeah.
It's probably after the increases have already happened. But it's hard, like, I didn't realise the price of stuff, even when you buy in bulk.
Yeah.
It's still pretty expensive, so we're aiming for sort of 40%.
Wow, that's really good.
Is what we're aiming for.
Yeah.
We're not quite there, but we're not far off it.
And if you need any help with that, let me know. Because
I love your advice. I'm reading books on it. I'm learning about it because it's a new skill to me.
Yeah.
I'd love off camera. We'll have a chat.
Yeah, we'll have a chat about that. So, how does your day look like at these days? You've got a lot of stuff going on.
Pretty full on. One thing you miss is I got 4 kids as well. So that's harder than any company. That's harder than hospitality kids.
Yeah. 4 kids. What are the ages?
So 10. I've got a stepson who's 8, and then a son who's 6, and a son who's 1 next week. So he's 11 months.
I admire people like look, you've got businesses. You're
hard,
a father. You've got misses. You've got like credit to you
Full on,
because
full on.
surely it's like you can't even get away from it because your focus will have to end up being there every day, right?
Definitely.
So which takes time away from some of the other things that you need to do. So it's like you have to make a lot of sacrifices, isn't it?
100%. And they're my reason why, but they're not the reason why, like, don't get us wrong, I'd probably be worth 2 or 3 times as much as what I'm worth right now if I didn't have kids. But I wouldn't trade that. And whether you were 20 mil or 10 mil, like...
Yeah.
I'd still... My kids are like... I don't agree... Well, I have to be careful what I say here. I was going to say...
What were you
my
going to say?
kids aren't my world, because I've heard people say that. The kids are my world. Like, they're not my world. I love them to bits.
Yeah.
But being my world means they're everything to me. I've got lots of other stuff going on, and they're a big part of my reason why. Because when you get to a certain amount of money, it becomes more about legacy and providing for them and giving them a life that I didn't have.
Yeah.
They were definitely part of my world, but they're not my world.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be a stay-at-home dad, that's for sure. Never. I couldn't. I'd lose my mind if I ever had to do that. I've just been on holiday for a week, and like I was stressed. Having 4 kids on holiday is stressful.
Where do you go?
Mallorca.
Okay.
Just with the missus and the kids and a couple of friends and their kids.
How long do you go for?
Just a week. Oh, mate. They were saying 2 weeks. No way could I do 2 weeks.
Because of your
kids.
businesses and because of everything.
Just and stress of having kids. Just in the pool. Dad getting in the pool. Dad getting to have an ice cream. He's done it in the arguing and the fight. It's full on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're going back to your question about what my day looks like. It's pretty full on. So generally get up with the kids in the morning. Most weekdays I pick them up from school as well.
Yeah.
So I'm doing everything that I do. Yeah. So I was staying in Newcastle last night, so I didn't obviously have them. But after this podcast, I'll race home and then put the kids to bed. Well, I'll put my son to bed.
Yeah.
The youngest. I get up most mornings with them. I used to train early, but then with the kids, it's hard. Like, it's hard to train. I mean, I used to love training at 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. I used to love that. But there comes a point where you've got to
decide.
Certainly with a young baby, it's not fair. My missus, for me, leave her with the screaming child and me going like, go in the gym. That's not fair. So I generally have to train 10, 11 a.m. now.
Life's not fair though.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm only
That's
joking.
true. That's not,
I'm
not
only
fair.
joking.
It's not fair. Life isn't fair. And anyone who thinks life's all rosy is deluded.
Yeah.
And if they think business is
No, the
easy,
point I was
it's
making
deluded.
was I don't want your missus listening to this, a bastard. What's he saying?
Oh, right, sorry. No,
But
Louise
yeah, I
knows the
agree.
crack.
Yeah, I
She knows
agree
the
though.
crack,
Yeah, it is unfair though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Life.
it's definitely unfair.
Yeah.
So after trade, I do everything that I do between generally 8:30 and about between sometimes 3 and sometimes 5.
Yeah.
So I'm not working 20-hour days. Sometimes don't get us wrong, probably once a week I'll work late. I never work weekends.
Or do you not?
Never work weekends. I haven't worked a weekend for easy 5 or 6 years.
So what do? Just spend time with your family?
Family time, yeah. It's family time. And generally every Tuesday we'll try to have date night. We don't do it every week, but we do it most weeks.
Yeah.
And then I'm really structured. So I've got a PA, I've got an ops manager, I've got plenty of staff, I've got in-house accountant, I've got loads of stuff. So I'm really leveraged. So most of my days consist of meetings with my senior. It's like Mondays I have a meeting with all my senior team.
Yeah.
And we'll plan for the week.
Yeah.
So generally on that Monday meeting, like what's happened on the weekend, if anything, did we do everything that was said we were going to do last week, and what was the plan for this week?
Yeah.
I'd have a little check-in on a Wednesday with some of the senior team, then we do check-out on a Friday. So I don't do any of the work almost. I'm managing the senior team who do the work.
Yeah.
And then the senior team then have staff under them to do their thing.
Got it.
So that's generally what I literally half the time, most of my days is solving problems and dealing with shit and issues.
Yeah.
Because when you're at that, like not the top level, because that sounds a bit arrogant, but like when you've got numerous businesses and staff underneath you, that's your role is to manage the senior staff who then manage the staff underneath
Absolutely,
them.
yeah.
But half the time, let's say if the staff at the bottom of the kind of ladder, so to speak, have a problem, they generally go to the senior staff.
Yeah.
And only if the problem is bigger than the senior staff and they don't know what to do, that's when it comes to me.
Yeah.
So half the time I'm just dealing with nonsense and bollocks and rubbish.
So do you speak to the staff that are a little bit down the ladder, or do you not bother getting
like when
involved?
I went to the hotel last night, I was speaking to the girls who were waiting the tables. I was speaking to the person who was meant to be washing the dishes that I was doing. I was speaking to the chef. I was speaking to everybody. And every time I go to a business, or at least once a week, I'll speak to people, or we're in WhatsApp groups and we'll have various messages back and forth on there. But yeah, there's a lot of travelling because I live in North Wales, and then I just flick between London, Newcastle, County Durham, and I'm all over the shop. Coaching one-to-one on Zoom. Content is becoming a big, since I got exited the main business, recording content, stuff like this is a big chunk, isn't it?
How are you doing that? How are you coping with that?
Again, someone said this to us, it was a good while back, and it always stuck with us, was regardless of what you do, you're going to have haters anyway.
Oh yeah.
So whether you post once a day, or you post once a week, or once a month, people are going to hate on you regardless.
Yeah.
And just be you, and don't try and be someone else. Don't try to be too corporate if you're not corporate, because I'm definitely not corporate. Even though I'm technically a financial advisor, I should be in a suit. I ain't going to be like that.
Yeah.
And just be you, and you're going to have haters regardless. So the content, when I started to get my head around that, I was trying to make it too perfect and trying to make it bang on. When in reality, just post, just be you.
Just be you.
So I'm getting into my flow now. I've got similar kit to this.
Yeah.
In the house, I'm doing it in my office with my bookcase behind us and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to slowly start to ramp that up.
It's important these days, isn't it?
Definitely. It's
Especially if you're going to get
economy.
into the online space, you need to be pushing content out there.
Definitely.
And there's so many platforms as well, isn't it? You got TikTok, you got Facebook, you got Instagram. What's your favorite though?
I've got the biggest following on Instagram.
Okay.
I don't know if I have a favourite. I'm not on TikTok yet. Probably will end up on it.
Yeah.
Don't know Snapchat. Bit on Facebook. Bit on LinkedIn. But Insta's probably my favourite. Yeah.
Yeah. Insta. Why is that? Everyone says Insta.
It's for property people. It seems to be the place to be, doesn't it? Because you can showcase all these fancy photos of your beautiful properties, and people don't typically tell you the truth, or they put a bit wool over it, don't they? They make it a little bit rosy and fuzzy when it's not a lot of the time. So I'm trying to be real, and I show the bad and the good.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm truly honest, if I didn't use it for business, I wouldn't be on it.
Yeah. 100%.
I wouldn't be on it. I'll probably get to a stage where, I might get to the stage where I don't want to do it anymore. I'm at a certain stage in my life or wealth or whatever that I just stop it.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
Because
You're still young.
Yeah, the creator economy, all this content thing is only going to get bigger. So Mike, I don't know if you have kids. Do you have kids?
No kids.
So my kids will probably, imagine what they'll be doing on social media. Like that, that'll just get bigger and bigger and bigger. There probably won't be, I mean, Google could be just people searching on Facebook and Instagram, the search bar. It's probably going to get whatever we think is the normal amount of social media that we use in our age. It's probably going to be 3 or 4 or 5 times more for them.
Definitely.
And then my kids. So, and look at the AI conversation.
I was just coming to that.
I could talk about this all day. I love this topic. But what I was going to say on AI is, like, what's the world going to look like for our kids' kids? It's going to be different, because even 5 years ago, there was no TikTok, there was no Snapchat, I don't think. There were a lot of it was different. Instagram was completely different. So was Facebook. Podcasts weren't even that big 5 years ago.
No.
So what's going to be like in 5? Who knows? But all we can do is control what we can control, which is pump out loads of content that adds value, that people enjoy listening to.
Yep.
And the good content creators like me and you will elevate, I believe, above all of the... And a lot of people try a podcast, right? And it's gone within 6 months.
Yep.
Don't know, you've seen them. I've definitely seen them.
Someone said to me, but I think it was like, they don't pass the 20 episodes.
Yeah, I watched that video as well. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And it's something like, if you're over 20 episodes, you're in like the top 1% or 5% of podcasts.
Because even 20 episodes is a lot. Especially if you're getting guests on, right?
Definitely. But if you can just pump out that content, it's there forever.
Yeah.
It'll probably get lost as more and more people create content. It'll get lost, but all it takes is a few of them to really take off. Your profile will be elevated. That can then branch you out and your business interests out into other things.
No, definitely.
That's part of the reason why I'm doing it, and I do enjoy it. And I do seem to get a lot of feedback on the talks that I do in my podcast and whatever else, and people seem to enjoy my message. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you've had that. It makes you feel good, and it reinforces what you're doing is right.
The nice messages that you get,
Definitely.
We need them from time to time, don't we?
Yeah, to keep going, and it just gives you a bit of a boost, and then you...
Yeah, you know you're on the right path, right?
Yeah.
So when you mentioned AI, what do you actually think of it, apart from you're excited about it, right? Or are you thinking...
Yeah, I mean, I've watched some interviews where it's like, it's going to take over the world, we're all doomed, the robots are going to kill us, and all of this crazy stuff. That is possible, right? I don't personally think that's going to happen. I do think it's more likely that we're going to live, like, harmoniously, if that's the word. You know what I mean? We're going to live in sync with the robots and the machines. And certainly if you fast forward 5-10 years, I wouldn't even like to guess. Who knows? Flying cars, it could be anything, right?
It's changing so fast, isn't it, all the time?
Yeah. And did you watch that thing about, I think it was about already ChatGPT 4 is something like twice as intelligent as Einstein ever was.
Really?
But in like 2 months' time or something, it'll be 5 times more. Then in 10 years' time, it'll be a billion with a B, a billion times more intelligent than the most intelligent human ever.
Wow.
So what the fuck does that look like? Because if they can then start to have a conscience, and who knows, right?
Yeah.
We'll go down a rabbit hole here.
You're going down some conspiracy theories now.
Yeah, but who knows? I personally think that it's just going to complement. I do think it'll kill off a lot of jobs. I think that we can't stop that. I think the internet, when it was brought out, killed off a lot of jobs.
Yep.
And I think this will have a bigger impact on jobs.
But it'll create more opportunities as well. In different
on
ways,
the flip, I was just about to say that because the people who embrace it,
Definitely.
in the early adapters, there'll be mad businesses spinning off this soon. There'll be some mad billionaires kicking about because they've set up this AI business, implemented AI into an existing industry or an existing business, and it took off.
Yeah.
There'll be the people who don't adapt it and who don't want to and they don't embrace it. They'll get left behind.
Definitely.
And it's the same as anything, isn't it?
It's the same as anything, you're absolutely right.
And it'll blow up. And I'm excited because I want to stay ahead of the curve and I'm already using it.
We have to, yeah.
So, yeah.
So, so you got other half, right? You married or you just...
No, not married. No.
You getting married soon?
We'll be 100%. She's definitely the one. I'm not just saying that. Right? No, she definitely is. I've had plenty of partners, we'll put it that way, in the past.
Yeah. How long have you been together?
3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 years.
So proposals coming soon, right?
Yeah.
See what I've done there?
Exclusive. No, but she knows this because, when she got pregnant last year, the year before, when she got pregnant, I was already planning it. She knows this. I'm not spoiling anything.
Yeah.
I was going to plan, but yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
She's the first girl I've ever got with who gets me in my, because she's got a business. She's got an estate agent and a mortgage brokers, and she's got property.
Has she?
Yeah, so she's into business, and I knew her from the business world before we got together.
That's so important, isn't it? That they get you.
100%, because every partner I've ever had previous to that, why do you work so much, Terry? Why are you still buying properties? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you coming in? All of that, she just gets it. She's like, boy, why aren't you doing more? Why aren't you doing it? And she's the first girl ever to push me on, and I can just be myself.
Yeah.
And that's how I know, yeah.
So because she's got businesses and you've got businesses, like, how do you have like other staff members that deal with kids, like midwives and stuff like that? Or?
No. So we're gonna get a full-time nanny, and we looked into it when we had Hunter.
Why did I say midwives? Nanny, that's what
I knew what you meant, yeah. So, see, I mean, we've got a cleaner who does like 6 hours a week. She comes 3 days a week. She does all my ironing, cleaning. She puts my clothes in order and all that. I want them in a certain way in my wardrobe. She does washing. She does loads. And I could not do, because we're both dead busy. And then when we come back from work, we don't want to be cleaning.
Yeah.
We generally get a gusto, which is a quick meal prep, or I buy meal prep.
So you got meal preps, right? Is that how?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, up until I started doing the 1 meal a day thing, which was about 4 weeks a day. 4 weeks ago, I started doing 1 meal a day. But yeah, meal prep, because that saves time. Because when we're getting from work, we both had long days, put the kids to bed. We don't want to then spend another half an hour cooking and cleaning.
Get a chef.
And then, well, yeah, I mean,
you got chefs already.
I want to try and move to Dubai. To be quite honest, that's with the one thing that I'm toying.
You want to do that?
Idea. I'm toying with it because everything's better over there.
I want to go as well in the next 5 years, but I don't know where though. I don't know about Dubai, because everyone says that.
But I mean,
I like Monaco.
Yeah,
that's
I
a good
mean,
one.
Tax rules great, but it's mad expensive to buy apparently.
Yeah.
Out there.
I'm sure you can live a little bit out though.
Can you?
Then as long
I must admit, I haven't looked into it. Portugal does great tax rules. But Dubai appeals. The reason why I said Dubai was I've got a friend over there who's got a cook, full-time cleaner, full-time nanny, right? And all together, that is £900 a month.
What?
Full-time. They have 1 day a week off. So 6 days a week for 900 quid. I mean,
you may have changed your mind.
How good is that?
Yeah.
I mean,
sales.
Buying your time back. But buying your time back.
Yeah.
How much time you and the meals they would cook. Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then you just need one more person, a masseuse, right?
Yeah, that would be pretty sick, wouldn't it? Once a week.
Yeah. That's if your missus allows it, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, it'd have to be...
For both of you, yeah? Yeah. Okay.
Or an unattractive one. I was being careful with my words
Yeah,
there.
but why does that matter, right? As long as they're talented, that's what matters, right?
So would you want your missus to be massive by a big, good-looking guy?
I had that problem. I had that problem when I wanted to... When I was in a relationship, so I was looking for a PA. And she said that, well, as long as she's old,
Ugly.
no problem. I said, why does that matter? It depends on the talent, right?
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
But it was just funny back and forth that we was having.
I've made mistakes on that in the past. So when I first set the company up, Bespoke Financial, this was the first ever business. I was literally recruiting on looks, so I had some very attractive women in the office, strippers and stuff like that. It got a bit wild back in the day. But yeah, I was recruiting. They could hardly even type. They were like this, but they were good looking. And so I was making the wrong. That's a naive, and that's a inexperienced male doing the thing in business, and it was the wrong thing to do. And these girls never stayed because I was recruiting on looks. But you said it, recruit on skill, regardless of what they look like. If you find the best skilled PA who's perfect for you and your business,
and it could be a guy or girl, right?
Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't matter what they look like. But I do get from your partner's point of view, they probably don't want you constantly on the phone to some gorgeous looking PA. They should trust you, but also there's the side of I get that.
But I think, you know what I found is as well that it looks good part of your image as well. If she's good looking and she's got the skills, like imagine going to a big meeting, or certain other places, like it works in a bit of leverage as well.
Definitely. Because going back to the original point about
Are we making
sales,
excuses
people
to get one?
Well, I'm not getting a really fit PA, so just to put that out there. But that goes back to the original point about sales, about like 80% of the way that you look is the way that you're dressed. And unfortunately,
Yeah.
whether we like it or not, like most men, not all men,
Yeah.
are a little bit shallow. So they would rather deal with a fit girl
Yeah.
than a bloke. And some guys will literally buy, even if the product isn't that good and she's not that good of a salesperson, they will just buy the fit girl.
Yeah, 100%.
That does apply, and that is a real thing. And I'm not saying that's right, and I'm not being sexist in
Yeah.
any way.
But it's just reality,
that's-
isn't it?
It is reality. So
Yeah.
so there's definitely positives to having a really good-looking member of staff. And we're not using them for that, but you get my point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, you know, this is what I really wanted to ask you. So, yous have been together for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Now, you've got kids as well. What do you do? You said you have a date night every Tuesday, and sometimes do you stick with it? Sometimes it's hard to stick with
Yeah.
it. Can you give some advice for couples that how to keep things? What's the word I want to use? How to keep things fresh in a relationship? What are some of the things you can do? Date night being one of them. Regularly stick to it.
Yeah, definitely. I think making time for each other is massive. And someone said to us years ago about, you know, if you had let's say you inherited £1 billion tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
You had all the money in the world, you'd never need to work ever again. After probably a mad spending spree, what most people would do, houses, cars and all that, what would you end up doing with the money? And if you have a partner at the time of inheriting that money, you would probably just spend that money and time with your family, right? So if work wasn't there,
Yeah.
you would spend the money and the time with people that you love.
Yep.
But some people, they sacrifice the relationship in the pursuit of money. So they'll neglect the relationship and not spend any time with the boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, just because they're pursuing money. When in reality, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? You'd spend it with your partner. Spend it with the people you love.
That's a good
so
perspective.
So you can do both. And it's just about, like if you were employed, let's say, you have to turn up between 9 and 5. If you don't turn up between 9 and 5, you're going to get docked your wages, eventually you'll get sacked.
Yeah.
So if you treat your relationship with the same amount of respect, you need to be there between this time and this time, or you need to be there this night of the week.
Yeah.
If you don't, eventually you might get away with it at the start, but eventually that relationship will break down. Just like the job, you would lose the job, you lose the girl or the guy by not committing enough time to it. And you've got to, like, I try and take one hat off and put another hat on, as in, when I'm at work, I'm at work. So if my missus is ringing us when I'm at work, I say ring us twice in a row and I know it's important. But if she rings us once, I know it's not, so I'm working. Half the time my phone's over there anyway and I'm in the zone.
Yeah.
And likewise when I'm at home with Louise, I'm like, I ain't taking emails, taking phone calls, like, because I'm with her. You've got to, and yes, the lines get blurred a little bit, and there's the odd time you've got to take the phone call, or you've got to do the email because it's really urgent or important. But try and have clear boundaries. Well, it might just be like after 8 p.m, that's mine and my partner's time. And just by committing enough time and energy to the relationship, it'll flourish. Just like if you do it to your business or your podcast or your whatever, put time and energy into that and it'll flourish. It's the same thing at the gym. You know, don't expect to have a six-pack and look great by going once a week and eating McDonald's. Like, you've got to commit time and energy to your diet and your fitness to get really fit.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing, whether that's one date night a week, we do generally try and do one weekend away per month. So we're going to come here actually, but we're not. We're going to Liverpool next weekend, just the Titanic Hotel, and we're just going to go to the spa, chill out, no kids, just me and her.
So just like make sure that you intentionally do stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely. And you set time aside, and you're both in agreement that that's what you're going to do. Because if you think it's really important to spend time with your partner on a Tuesday, but they don't think it's that important, they'll work or they'll do something else or they'll plan something with their mates.
Yeah.
So you both got to have a conversation about, you know, we're both busy people, we've got kids. You know, because if you add businesses and kids into the mix, there's not much time left.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've just got to set not rules, because that sounds really regimented. You've just got to have a conversation and be in alignment that we're going to do this every week or every month or whatever.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, your partner is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. And if you get that wrong, like, it doesn't matter how good you're doing at work. If you come home to chaos and arguments and shit and you don't trust them and they don't trust you and it's horrible,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how much money you've got, how well you're doing, and that you come back to that. it'll ruin it.
No,
So you've got to get that home stuff right, get support at home, and get the right person at home, and be like, what I say to a lot of blokes is like, you've got to be able to be like almost a mate with them. You're never going to be like you are with the boys, because lad banter is
It's always
never
gonna be
going to be
different,
like, yeah. But you still want to be able to have banter with them. So don't just get with someone just based on looks. Looks is definitely important, but if you just fancy them, they fancy you, it's great sex or whatever, but there's nothing in common, you can't have banter with them. You can't just go to a bar with them and have a crack, like, and have a joke. Like, if that's not there, it's not right. I believe you've got to have all
multiple elements in it. Yeah,
Definitely.
Just like with everything, right?
100%. 100%.
Yeah, interesting. Is it anything you don't enjoy about your businesses? Because you have a lot of things going on.
Yeah, definitely. I don't particularly enjoy dealing with problems and dealing with hassle and HR issues and people leaving, people arguing, having to pull people to one side and pep talk them and be a counsellor and a boss and a friend. I don't particularly enjoy any of that. But going back to the original point, Andrew Tate says that you do what's needed to be done regardless of how you feel. And I know that needs to be done in order to be a successful businessman and an entrepreneur and have successful companies that make a profit. There's things you need to do that you don't enjoy.
Yeah.
This thing about only do what you enjoy and your passion, I think it's bollocks.
Yeah.
I think it's bollocks. And yes, if I could only do things that I enjoy every single day and still have the level of success that I'm at now, then I'd love to be able to do that. But I don't think it's
I think it's
really
just
that possible.
it's like a seasons, isn't it? You go through seasons in your life and you have to do certain things, and maybe that's the last season of your life, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sometimes it's all rosy, sometimes it's horrific, and sometimes you go through really tough and dark times as a business owner, and it's very hard if you're worrying about money, you're worrying about losing a key member of staff or a big contract, a big, client or something. It's hard to deal with, and you'll always have that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just got myself in a state of, regardless of what I need to do or what needs to be done, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay. So, you know what I really want to know from you is, your online courses that are coming out. What are the strategies that you're using to sell that? Hey YouTube, I'm really sorry to cut you off, but I have to share this with you. I want you to get to your next level, and I believe that personal development is the gateway to success. So what I've done is I've gone and created a 7-day free audio course. This is totally free. All you have to do is sign up, and from day 1 till day 7, every single day, you will receive a 2-minute audio from me, which will elevate your mindset and give you power in your business. Make sure you go and sign up and let me know how you find it.
So social media, organic.
Yeah.
So I'm regularly posting anyway. I've posted since the first lockdown when I set up my Instagram page.
Yeah.
That's when I set up Terry Blackburn Property. So I'm going to continue to post once a day.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some paid ads. I'm going to do some giveaways.
How are you going to do the paid ads?
Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, paid ads.
Okay.
So we've got a targeted audience. We're remarketing to the people that watch the videos. And ultimately find out an audience who like what I say, who value what I say, and who want to take it to the next level after the free stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to do plenty of that. More networking, more stuff like this, more podcasts. The more people I speak to, the more people who know. Great phrase that I use is, it doesn't matter how good you are if nobody knows who you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't it? And I could be the best sales trainer in the world, but if nobody knows who I am, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? So it's getting myself out there as much as possible. My own podcast, my books, and there's a few other marketing tactics.
So would you have you thought about webinars?
Yeah.
What do you think?
We're probably going to do some free webinars. What I'm really conscious of, and I don't want to fall into the trap of, a lot of these property educators, they just sell, hard sell all of the time. It's always them selling.
Yeah.
They're not adding that much value. They're just trying to sell something. I don't want to be like one of them. And to be quite honest, Alex Hormozy's way of selling and the way he presents offers, I think is the best that's out there. I relate to that, and I'm going to use a lot of the stuff that he does because I think it works. It's proven to work. And a lot of it is adding huge value. So whether people just watch the content for free and get huge value and don't ever buy anything, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if they are ready to then take it to the next level, I'll have options for them as well
Absolutely.
as one-on-one and pre-recorded courses. And yeah, I want to get well known for that, and I think I can.
No, definitely. I think, you know, when people start consuming your content, they've already bought into it. It's just now, when will they buy?
Exactly.
And some people will be 2 years, 3 years, but they will come if they resonate with
it's
what
about
you
being
do.
persistent, isn't it? And in every part of every business, and
Yeah.
content even more so.
No, definitely. But webinars is a really good one. Yeah, I know a lot of people that are doing that, and then, yeah.
Doing well, yeah.
Yeah. So what I want to know is what made you see, because I do online coaching, right? And the reason I started doing it because I really understood that it's a really good way to, firstly, if you like doing it, then fine, and also it's good money, and also the fact that it'll give you a bit more freedom. Because you can literally do coaching from anywhere, right?
Anyway, yeah.
Did you have any of them go through your head, any of them reasons, or not really?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know if you're like this, but I am a little bit, well, not a little bit, I am very obsessed with self-development, learning. I don't really watch that much TV. I watch a lot of YouTube, a lot of these American guys, and a lot of them talk about this lifestyle of the freedom lifestyle, working wherever you want. Now, obviously, I've got kids. I've got a house, I've got mortgages, I'm grounded a little bit. Quite a bit, actually, yeah. So I can't really go to Bali and do my Zoom calls. But the thought of that, the concept of that really appeals to us, definitely. Right. And I look at some of these guys on YouTube, and it might be a little bit false, it might not be accurate what they're saying, but they seem, and they're certainly perceived that to be that way, that they're living the dream. They are literally working wherever they want with stacks of cash, and they're living the bit of the dream, and I do like the idea of that. And not that I would go to Bali, just that I could buy a house in Spain for me and the missus when the kids were a little bit older, and just work a few hours a day on a laptop in the sun. Because I think, I don't actually know how old you are, but
35.
Similar age, great.
Yeah.
So I think us in maybe 10, 15 years, we will definitely think different to what we think right now.
Yeah.
And I think as you get older, you'll want a little bit more of that. And I think if you can build the brand now, and when you get to that stage, you could just be doing high ticket, quite high price because you're more experienced, and you could do it in the comfort of your own home, from Zoom. As long as you're adding value and helping people, then you're going to get paid well.
Definitely.
And I think that is really appealing to me. It definitely wasn't the main reason. It was literally because I kept getting asked on Instagram, will your coaches on back?
Oh, really?
I kept saying, no, I haven't got time. And then when I exited the main company, it was like, okay, I've got time, let's give it a try.
Yeah.
And then actually really enjoy it. So that's kind of why I'm doing it. But obviously the money comes into play.
It's really good money.
I'm not going to lie to anybody. Loads of people say, I do it because I love it. I do. Yeah, there is that. But there's also money as well. Let's be honest. If you got paid a £5 an hour to coach, nobody would be a fucking coach.
No.
Would they?
No.
So yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about your podcast, Rags to Riches. You've got a podcast, so how long have you had it for?
So I started that in 2020 as well, in lockdown. So a little bit after the first lockdown, I think it was mid-2020 when I started it.
So YouTube and Spotify?
Yeah, so it's all done on Zoom.
Yeah.
Not as good of a setup as this, I must admit. So it's literally just done on Zoom.
Yeah.
And we'll put them on YouTube where it's just me interviewing somebody.
Got it.
And then a lot of people again started to ask, and I got great feedback on that, by the way. I had a couple of billionaires, loads of millionaires.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Alfie Best was on it. Gypsy billionaire, yeah. Mainly property people and business people who had a story from going from rags to riches, or going from nothing to something, or it doesn't have to be like homeless to millionaire or drug addict to millionaire. That's not what it's about. It's just going from somewhere not that good to they bettered themselves in somewhere, whether it's fitness, whether it's business or property.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about. And then I started to do some of the solo podcasts, which is just me talking about what's in here and my concepts and ideas. And those are actually getting more downloads than the interviews.
Really?
So I've kind of just kept doing them. I definitely want to do more because I do enjoy this.
Yeah.
Maybe to have you on, because I don't actually know your full story, but I know you've been in prison, so I'd like to know that more. So we'll do that episode if you're up for that.
I'm up for it, bro.
Yeah, we'll do that. So I'm going to start that certainly by the end of the year. I want to start doing more of the interviews again.
Yeah.
Because it is good, it is entertaining. I don't know what you think about it. I feel like I was learning loads. When I was actually interviewing someone else, I felt I was
100%
benefiting. You feel buzzed up, don't you?
Yeah,
I felt great.
Yep. And you get better with communication. You get better negotiate. It's like a negotiation
you're
going on.
networking
It's
as well, it's
networking.
great.
It's
Yeah.
so much going on.
Yeah, definitely.
So, especially if you want to be in the online coaching space and that sort of thing, it's a massive help.
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
it improves your branding, right? So,
100%. 100%.
and you've got your own media platform, really,
Yeah.
because
that
that's
no one
where
can
it's going
take.
now, isn't it?
Definitely.
Okay, great. Well, I think we've covered a fair bit. You know what? This is the one I really wanted to ask you. So, you say mindset is the difference between skin and successful. I read it, I've watched it, and that was great.
yeah.
I thought that was a great analogy. Give me a masterclass on how someone can use basic steps to change their mindset.
I mean, it depends on where you're starting from, of course.
Yeah.
But something that everybody can do
Yeah,
for free, doesn't cost a penny to do, and they can start it today,
yeah,
is every morning, make sure your body is prepared and your mind is prepared. So
Tony Robbins, I'm hearing. Tony Robbins.
But your body is prepared. You don't need to. He jumps in plunge pools and does all that mad stuff. I'm not saying do that. I do like a plunge pool, but everyone's doing them ice baths, aren't they?
Can you like him?
I've never bought one and put it in my garden like everyone's doing.
Yeah.
I think they just do that for the video. But my point is, if you prepare your body somehow,
Yeah,
that will in turn help your mindset. So even by going for a walk, doing some stretching, doing 100 push-ups, right? If you do 100 push-ups every day for 30 days, look at the difference in your chest. Massive, right? So you prepare your body in some way. And sometimes, by the way, I don't do that first thing in the morning, but I'll do one or the other or both every morning.
yeah,
So this morning I trained, and then as soon as I got back from the gym, just in a notebook, I wrote down my goals and a few things that I'm grateful for.
yeah,
Literally as simple as that. So I wrote down personal goals, business goals, money goals, and holiday goals. Where I want to go on holiday, what I want to look like at the gym, what I want to achieve in my physical health, how much money I want to make, how many properties I want to buy, where I want to get the businesses. I wrote that down, and then I wrote down things I was grateful for. Grateful for my health, my kids, my bank balance, my properties, my tenants, etc.
yeah,
And just by doing that every day, over a good enough space of time, you will be in a better place mindset-wise.
Definitely.
There's loads of things you can do that are free. Watch a podcast like this. Watch a motivational video on YouTube for 10 minutes. People say that, I haven't got time to go to the gym every morning. I haven't got time to write my goals. Writing your goals can be 10 lines that takes you no longer than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Shouldn't even take a minute to write a line. But then you could watch a 10-minute, when you're in the shower, put a motivational video on YouTube loud so you can hear it. I still do that to this day. Normally Andrew Tate or somebody like that, just get us in the zone for the day. I put a lot of that stuff on, even still now, and I don't really need motivated, but I still do it. So you can watch videos, you can write your goals down, write down things you're grateful for. Because when you write down things that you're grateful for, everyone thinks that's a bit woo-woo and a bit law of attraction bollocks. But honestly, if you do that for 30 days, honestly, it's free to do. The difference is, it's one of the most impactful things I've ever done.
yeah.
Honestly, a gratitude list is honestly massive. And they can do that starting today for free, and that will improve your mindset. It'll also improve your results and the way you feel and look.
Yeah.
Um,
That's powerful.
I could do a whole episode on that, but
Yeah, I
I'm
can
trying to
imagine.
cram it into something. But honestly, there's no excuses for that.
Yeah.
Regardless of where you are, what country you're in, how much money you've got, what your health situation is like, you can do all of that for free tonight, today, depending on what time it is you're listening to this.
There you go.
I'm watching it.
Yeah. Okay, so final question, and then if you want to share anything, you can do as well. What I really want to know is, why did you write your books? What was the reason for writing your books? Because I feel like that is a great move in terms of your branding and positioning yourself. So what was your reasons?
So Be Aligned was the first one. So by the way, I can't actually quite believe this, but I won Best Business Book of the Year at the
I read that.
Hollywood, Paris, and San Francisco book festivals.
Did you have to go there and collect some award or something?
So when I got the Hollywood email, right, Hollywood, I was like, oh, I'm going to be in the red carpet, get in. And I thought, but then on their website, it says there's a red carpet event, right? But this was in when was the last lot of lockdowns? Was it 21 or 20?
20,
Wasn't that,
I think
it was 21,
20 or
wasn't
21,
it?
yeah.
So it was during that, and they were said, oh, well, due to COVID, we don't know if we're going to do an event this year or next year, and we're not sure what's going to go on. So I've chased them 3 times since then,
Right.
including this year, no response. So they mustn't be doing one.
That's a shame.
But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I'll be buzzing to do that. But it won various awards. The reason I wrote the book I don't know if you've read it or listened to it. It's on Audible as well. It's just about, I was doing a training session on this, right? And whatever's in here, I just do sessions on. I don't plan my training sessions with my sales staff.
Right.
And we started talking about lions, right? So lions, I don't know much about animals, I must admit. But my perception of lions is, right, if there's lions chilling there under a tree, right, in the shade, and the zebra walks past, the lion doesn't think, not today. I'm not good enough to get that zebra. I don't think I'm fast enough, or that wildebeest looks a bit too muscly for me. I don't think I could catch that one. The lion just goes and does it, right?
Yeah.
So the analogy behind that one was just living the life of a lion means like having no self-doubt and just going to do what you want. You might have, or a lot of people might think, I don't know if I could do a podcast, or how would I do that? Just go and do it.
Yeah,
just go and try it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could set up a business. Just try it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because any limit that you're putting on yourself is you put it there. So lions don't have that, right? I don't know this for a fact, obviously. I certainly don't know much about lions, but they just go and do it. And then in the book, there's another analogy about hyenas. So hyenas are those creatures that laugh and they cackle, don't they? Sounds like they're laughing all the time. We all know them in life. So the people that take the piss out of you probably said, this podcast, what are you doing a podcast for? They try and have a go in a dig, try and drag you down, kill your dreams, squash all of your aspirations. There's hyenas everywhere. You're never going to get rid of all the hyenas in the world, but if you've got enough lions around you, the hyenas can't attack you. They can't affect you. But if you're a sole lion, you've got no network. If you get 10 hyenas around you, they're going to make you stop doing what you're doing and kill your dreams off.
Yep.
So that's another analogy. And the last one is sloths. So sloths are those dead slow creatures that just do that. They move through the trees, right? We all know them in life as well, don't we? The people that just do fuck all. They're just coursing through the trees. They don't know anything about business, about property, about podcasts. Some people don't know what podcasts are. How mad's that? They're just walking through the trees. They just don't know what life's about. And that's fine to a degree. And I'm not putting down these people. That's absolutely fine. If they just want to get a normal job and just tick along and coast through life, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Everybody's different, but these people just don't know what our world is about. And if you hang around with loads of sloths, you're going to become a little bit slow and a little bit sluggish, and you're just going to become one of them. Because you can't talk about business to a sloth. They haven't got a clue what business is and how it works. Money, how would you do that? Self-employed?
Yeah.
What? They don't understand, right? So that's what the book is about. It's about living a life like a lion, ignoring the hyenas and the sloths. It's on Audible, you should get it. So I wrote the book just because I loved that analogy, and everyone I told it to buzzed off it.
Because it makes sense to me, because it's what happens, people go through in real life. And then your second book was?
So The Power of P's.
Yeah.
So that was again another training session. And there's loads of words begin with P.
Yeah.
So power, perception, profit, pay. There's absolutely loads. There's 88 of them in the book. And I give my definition of what each P word means and how I perceive that P word. So how I look at profit, how I look at perception, power, pace, panic, pain, all of these different ones. And it's just my spin on those words.
Nice.
And how they can relate that to their life and their business. So yeah.
Interesting. But what was the reason for the writing it? Was it something?
It was because people enjoyed the concept when I talked about it, and then
you just thought put it in a book.
And the first book, I've said this before on a podcast. It took us 6 weeks to write because I set a goal.
Wow.
And every morning I transcribed it. So, there's an app where you just press a button and you speak. Even my Geordie accent, it picks it up, right? So I speak and it writes it. And I've done that every morning for about half an hour to an hour. On transcript, I wrote it all. So I mapped out the categories.
Yeah.
And then each morning I talked about a category and worked my way down.
Wow.
I done the whole thing in 6 weeks, sent it off to an editor. She edited it all and we self-published it on Amazon.
Wow.
So the reason was just, I like getting my message out there. I thought not many people have wrote books.
Yep.
And I thought I set myself a goal of achieving the book in this time frame, which I done. And
amazing.
And it seemed to do well. So, yeah.
Well done, bro.
No,
any last final messages you want to share with the audience? Any advice? You can say anything you want.
I think we've covered loads. I mean, if they want to find out where I am, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Yep. We'll put all them descriptions in the.
You can put it all there. Yeah. So yeah, and if you're listening to this, just keep listening to stuff like this. Like at the end of the day, podcasts like this will help you.
Yeah.
They will help you, and then sometimes you just need to kick up the arse. You need a little bit of motivation on the morning. You're lacking energy, you're lacking drive, you're just in a little bit of a slump. Watch stuff like this because it will help you and it will give you that boost that you need. And remember that do whatever you need to do, regardless how you feel. And sometimes you still need this. You need to watch this and listen to this.
Yeah.
But just get it done, regardless how you feel, because no one's coming to save you.
Absolutely. Well, listen, that was powerful. We'll do a part 2 in 12 months.
Yeah, man. Love that.
Thank you for coming, bro. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks.
That was good.